fast-paced world where everyday things are getting smaller and smaller. But it's still the really big things that power our world and keep us moving forward in a really big way. Coming up on Really Big Things, we get an incredible exclusive story.
We're going up, guys. Watch yourselves.
A race against time to save the lives of two of the biggest whale sharks on Earth and fly them halfway around the world to a new home.
That's a really big fish tank.
Then, I become a fish tank plumber and spring a really big leak.
That bad?
And later, we'll get into the dirty laundry of just about everybody in Vegas.
Lots of dirty laundry. Let's say you caught a really big fish and you wanted to keep him alive. Where would you put him? Well, if it was a really, really big fish, like let's say the biggest fish in the world, you'd want to put him here, at the largest aquarium in the world. Think of the Georgia Aquarium like an apartment building for animals who like an ocean view. They got whales and weird things called sea dragons that look like floating plants. But the biggest of all is this, the Ocean Voyager Gallery. Tens of thousands of fish live in here. In a couple days, 2 new fish are moving in here. Now, typically that's not such a big deal because they bring fish here every day. But this situation's a little bit different. You see, in just 2 days, 2 more of those things are moving in.
Those things are whale sharks, the biggest fish on Earth. The 2 new whale sharks that are coming in were caught in fishermen's nets off the coast of Taiwan. The sharks are being held in a pen in the ocean near the village where they were caught. Sharks are considered a delicacy in many parts of the world, including Taiwan, and they would have been eaten. But because Taiwan is dedicated to education and conservation, the Georgia Aquarium was able to negotiate the acquisition of the fish with the Taiwan Fisheries Bureau. A team from the aquarium is in Taiwan right now waiting to pull the sharks from the ocean and fly them 8,000 miles to the Georgia Aquarium. It's a risky, dangerous move with no guarantee they'll survive the trip, but it's the only hope that they have. In the meantime, while we're waiting for the biggest fish in the world to arrive, let's take a closer look at the biggest aquarium in the world.
Downstairs, the Ocean Voyager exhibit looks like the ocean. Up here, it looks like this. A giant laboratory or an airplane hangar or something. It's pretty cool. This is Eric, one of the main guys that works here. Eric, how you doing?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm super excited to be here, man. But whale sharks, I don't know anything about them other than they're the biggest fish in the world, right?
Yes, they are.
So you have 3 here right now, right? Is it how many male and females?
We have 2 females and 1 male.
Now, how does that work? Like, do they breed, and do you want to make more whale sharks? Is that the whole point of it?
That's one of the neat things about what we're doing here is there's not a lot known about whale sharks. There's a lot of field studies going on. By being able to work with them here at the Georgia Aquarium, we're hopeful we're going to learn about some breeding behavior.
Besides the biggest aquarium in the world, how many gallons does this thing hold?
It's 6.2 million gallons of water, and as you look across it, it's just about the size of a football field.
And how deep does it go?
Roughly 30 feet.
Talking about the whale sharks, that's obviously your main attraction here because nobody else has those, right?
In the United States, this is the only facility where you can see whale sharks.
And how big are the whale sharks right now?
We estimate they're about 22 to 23 feet right now.
So how big can these things actually get?
We estimate about 45 feet.
What makes it a whale shark? What makes it a whale? What makes it a shark? What makes it a fish?
That is a fish. It has gills. It breathes dissolved oxygen in the water. It doesn't breathe with a blowhole like a beluga whale. Those are mammals.
And most people, I mean, when you think of shark, you think if I'm falling in that water, that thing's going to eat me up. But is that the case here?
When we're in the water with them, they have no motivation to harm a human being.
Right. And the big news here is 2 more are coming in, right? What are the biggest dangers that these fish are going to face as they're traveling across the country?
Probably the biggest issue is water quality.
Could these fish possibly die on the way over here? Like, what's it going to be like?
Oh, well, there's always risk. We're confident we're going to have a good move, but we're also we have a little bit of anxiety. We want to, you never want to forget something. You don't want to make a mistake coordinating large equipment and so on. So there's so much that could go wrong.
So, I mean, obviously, the more time it takes for these fish to get here, the more of a potential red flag it could be.
Yeah, we want to get here as quickly as possible, and we have a very highly skilled team in animal transports that have the ability to manage a fairly large box that will hold the animals.
The aquarium has just gotten an update. The 2 whale sharks in Taiwan are ready to be lifted out of the ocean. Tim Binder, director of husbandry with the aquarium, is there right now to supervise moving the sharks.
Matt, right now the fishermen are getting the stretcher ready to go. This is the stretcher that's going to lift the animal out of the sea pen and put it into this box that's going to weigh 29,000 pounds by the time we're done. This lift is actually one of the most critical aspects of the whole move. We're taking the animal out of the water. Their skeleton is made of cartilage, and when their body weight hits them, it can damage them significantly. So we want this lift to be quick. We want it to have the animal out of the water as little time as possible. Going up, guys. Watch yourselves. Okay, bring it down. Bring it down. Down. Okay, hold up. That went excellent, Matt. That animal went into the stretcher very readily, and we had him out of the water for just a very little amount of time. He seems to be gilling well, and nobody got hurt.
So far, so good. 1 fish moved, 1 more to go.
Good. Bring him down. Oh, stop. All right, the animal's now safely in the container, Matt. What the staff is doing right now is we actually have some remoras that have hung on this animal. They're a fish that can cause a little bit of damage to these animals, so we want to get them out. Paul has just caught one right here.
The remoras are harmful because they increase waste and deplete oxygen in the tank. Now it's a race against time to quickly get these sharks to the port city of Hualien and transfer them from temporary boxes into high-tech containment boxes designed by the aquarium. Deteriorating water quality in the tanks is the greatest threat to the sharks' health. The new tanks will supply circulation and oxygen, but nothing like the fresh oxygenated water at the aquarium. The sharks must get to Atlanta as quickly as possible. This tank will be the whale shark's new home. And that gigantic 6.3 million gallon tank is supported by a massive computer-controlled life support system of humongous pumps and filters that keep every fish in the exhibit alive. These are the pumps for the Ocean Voyager exhibit. These things pump 100,000 gallons of water every minute through a series of special filters. Now that's very necessary because 3 whale sharks and about 60,000 of their friends can make a clean tank dirty very quickly. 234 pumps run this operation, with a total of 2,650 horsepower. That's 1,325 times the power of an average swimming pool pump. These are called protein skimmers. Now what protein skimmers do is churn the water, basically like the waves do at the ocean. Because what the waves do when they churn is they create sea foam. Now sea foam, which is that stuff up there, that's basically all the garbage in the water. You don't want that. So this filters out the sea foam with the good water and pumps the good water into the fish tank so the fish can live healthy. Now the staff has been working overtime to make sure that all of this will be working perfectly when the 2 new whale sharks arrive. But there's still a lot of work to do. Right now there's an urgent need to fix a critical pump before the new sharks arrive. Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. What was your name?
Joe Ponatowski.
Joe, so you're the man that fixes all the pumps.
I am the life support manager that oversees all the pumps and filtration.
So you're the life support manager?
Life support manager.
All right.
I take care of all the pumps, filters, and keep the water nice and clean and healthy for the animals.
Nice.
So we have one of our pumps that's leaking, as you can see the salt here. So there's actually a little seal that keeps the salt water in the pump from coming out. So the seal has gone bad and we want to get it fixed before our new arrivals come tomorrow. You got to look at the pump of a life support system like your own heart. If your own heart's not beating, moving blood, you're going to die.
We need to do some cardio.
There you go. Want to give us a hand?
Yes, sir.
All right. We're going to be taking off all these bolts on this side.
This pump is critical for keeping contaminants out of the very tank the 2 new sharks will be placed in. There she goes. Is that bad? That's good. 1, 2, 3. There it is. There we go.
Got it?
What do you want?
On the flare.
You got it? Good job.
Hey, this is the part that's damaged right here. Is it normal that I'm lightheaded?
part? What happens? Yeah, that's the seal. What happens is salt water gets crusted in here, and this is supposed to spring back. Right now, it's not springing back.
Gotcha.
We changed it out with a better one.
We can take a brand new one?
Yes, sir.
All this filters from the big whale sharks and the other fish eating and pooping, and that's why we need it all, right?
Exactly.
Thank you, sir. All right, Joe. Nice meeting you. You can have these back.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Coming up, as the sharks are transferred to high-tech support tanks, they face a dangerous balancing act. And if it doesn't go perfectly, it will be disastrous. Stop. Finally, in a Taiwan port halfway around the world, the team hurries to prepare the high-tech aquarium tanks for the fish. The next step is a dangerous one. 2 cranes must work in perfect unison to transfer the sharks from one tank to the other. It's a difficult task. Coordination between the crane operators is critical to keep the shark basket level. One wrong move, and the shark will be lost.
Down nicely. We're clearing okay on that side? All right, man, we've got the first animals in the box. It's all buttoned up. We still have some strapping to do, but it's ready to go. We're going to get ready to move this animal next.
The crane operators move quickly but carefully to not traumatize the second fish. In no time, the sharks are on the flatbed convoy to the Hualien airport. The sharks' water is already getting contaminated with waste. They need to get on the plane quickly. With the sharks finally on their way, the countdown has begun. Right now it's feeding time for the sharks that are already here, and I'm going to help make their lunch. The whale sharks in the aquarium don't feed on sea life in the tank itself. Their meals are custom made in the commissary.
All right, so this is part of the whale shark's diet, krill, which is what, a shrimpy shrimp?
Small shrimp. We're going to weigh 1.4 kilos into this container, and that's going to be the start of one of our whale shark diets.
So in total, how much does a total meal for the whale shark weigh?
5.1 kilos for the day.
Does that ultimately come down to your call, what we're feeding it?
There are very few unilateral decisions in this place. So it's a matter of getting all the minds together. Nutrition is one small little piece of the pie.
I gotcha.
So step number 2, silver sides.
Silver sides.
This is a warm water fish that's caught close in the shore off the northern United States. We're going to go with a half a kilo.
The thing that trips me out is, like, when did you find out, like, this is the diet that is good for the whale shark?
You have a fairly good idea of some of the types of things that they might consume when they're free ranging. Next step is going to be squid. You're going to get a half a kilo of that too. So basically, I'm going to take it and cut it in half. Whereas the opening of a whale shark's mouth can potentially be this wide, comes down to a hole that's this big in order to go into its esophagus. So as a consequence, they're not going to be sucking down a whole lot of big stuff in the ocean.
I like how this is cool, man. I'm telling you, I'm excited about this. How many times in my life do I get to deliver a whale shark from Taiwan? I'll tell you, 1, and now's it.
Today I've created a very tasty concoction of silver sides, squid, and shrimp.
Top it off with a little protein shake. Yummy.
Alice and Trixie get fed from up here.
Okay.
Trixie gets fed from the station right here, so we're going to drop her food
Okay.
right here. And we're going to be feeding Alice, which is down here. We trained them to come to certain stations. This is the only place that they would get food, so that's how they knew where to go.
Does she have teeth? Is she going to grind it up, or how does it work?
They have little bitty tiny teeth, but they don't use their teeth to eat. They actually filter their food out of the water, so that she'll basically suck it in like she's vacuuming the food out. And then she's got filter mechanisms that filters the food out of the water, so she spits the water back out her gills and swallows the food.
Look at this. Here they come.
You can see them come in and they're ready.
Which one's Trixie and which one's Alice?
That one's Trixie. This one is Alice.
And then you got 2 new ones coming in. I mean, that's got to be exciting for
It's
you, right?
very exciting.
I think like a lot of animal rights people are crazy about, don't bring the fish here, but you guys are actually saving them.
Yes. If we had not taken them, they would have been eaten.
All right. Let's get to it, sister. What do I do?
We're going to take a ladle full of water and dump it into the exhibit, and that's their trigger to know that it's time to come over. Good job.
All right.
The water splashing on the surface is a visual cue to the sharks that it's feeding time.
If you want to fill my ladle for me, get a good mix in there of everything. I keep it in the ladle until she comes over, and she'll open her mouth, and then that's when I trail it into her mouth.
Oh, this is so cool.
That's good.
Here she comes. Oh, yeah.
You just give her a little bit at a time.
Oh, this is awesome.
Oh, stop spitting, girl.
Does she normally do that?
Not usually, no.
It is so awesome. It looks like a giant vacuum cleaner sucking that thing in. Crazy. How many times a day does she feed?
Twice a day.
So how do you guys know that this is the right amount of food?
We did it based on their weight. You feed them a certain percentage of their body weight per week.
So normally, do whale sharks skim the top like they do here?
Yes, a lot of times, because that's where they'll find a lot of food. If they get a big cloud of food that they can swim through, then they'll swim below the surface. They kind of can feed anywhere, but it is pretty common for them to skim the surface looking for food.
So they don't go too deep, right?
They can. Some of the satellite tags, they've shown whale sharks that go to like 3,000 feet.
What?
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So, I mean, when's the next time you'll feed them?
They get fed twice a day, so they'll get fed
Nice.
this afternoon. Did you enjoy that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't wait for those other two to get here, huh?
Yes, I'm very excited.
Yep. Just me and my 21-foot whale shark. It's hard to believe all she eats is those little shrimp. And she's the smallest one of the bunch at 21 feet. It's a good woman, that Alice. God, I love her. The plane from Hualien has landed in Taipei, where the sharks will be moved to a larger plane for their trip to the U.S. The sharks' journey will be a long one, from Hualien to Taipei, to Anchorage, Alaska, and finally to Atlanta, Georgia, in the aquarium. The sharks are quickly transferred to the plane that will take them to Atlanta, but there have been some unexpected delays because of weather. Chris Coco, husbandry manager for the aquarium, adds powders to the sharks' water that will keep the water clean and pH balanced. A bank of batteries power the pumps that will keep the water and oxygen circulating in the tanks. If the batteries or the pumps should fail, the fish will not survive. The sharks need to move quickly, but now there's no telling when that will be. Okay, Eric, the drama starts to unfold with this story. So now it's Thursday at 6:05. The two new whale sharks were supposed to arrive Wednesday at 6 p.m. We're 24 hours behind schedule and running.
We are thinking right around 4 a.m. 4 a.m. on Friday, they're going to land in Atlanta.
So this is basically 40 feet down. That's where they're going to bring it up?
Yeah, and we're going to position the boxes right underneath this hoistway, and at that point they'll start working the bag underneath the animal.
Once we get them up here, it's going to raise to right where we're at right now, surface-wise, right?
It's going to come right up here. We'll roll off of these I-beams.
Right.
We'll lower that stretcher into the water, and then we'll gently guide the animal into the exhibit.
Coming up, after 3 takeoffs and landings and being sloshed around for 36 hours. Here we go, let's go meet our baby. No one knows if the sharks are dead or alive. They are. As of now, if they're okay, I have no idea. Then, with time running out, the sharks must get to clean water fast. But the tanks are too heavy to get onto the trucks.
Whoa! Hold up.
And later, you might have had carrot cake, but towel cakes are just a little chewier. It's 1:30 in the morning on Friday. All the flight delays are over, and the sharks are finally in the air and due to arrive in a matter of hours. The anticipation of the climax of the story is about to happen. So what's happening now is this is basically a precaution in case the whale sharks get too warm. It's packing this truck with ice so we can flood the whale sharks with some ice to cool them down. The ice is packed up and the team hits the road. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. We're on our way to the airport. The whale sharks are due to arrive about 30 minutes early, so they're going to be here now about 3:30, which is a good thing. The quicker the better. I feel like we're on like a top secret mission to the airport, man. We got security behind us here on walkies. We're going to get a police escort pretty soon, right?
Yes, it's going to be cool stuff.
We're flying down the freeway with no traffic, and I can see the airport coming up. 3 flatbed trucks and a police escort bring on the muscle to get the job done.
We got a few minutes. We want to meet with the truck drivers.
You're doing on that.
And Frank
tank? That's me, man.
What we're loading on these trucks are 2 large boxes filled with water with very large fish in them. And we don't want you to underestimate the stopping and starting. That water is going to shift. We really want you to think of like a big egg on the back of your truck. And you're trying to make sure that that egg doesn't crack when you're driving.
The crew watches the plane land with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. No one knows what kind of condition the long flight has left the sharks in.
We're going up to the plane. So they just got here. I just found out the 2 names of the whale sharks are Yusion and Taroko. And they did that out of respect for the Taiwanese. In case you're wondering what that means, one is named after a gorge in Taiwan, and the other one is named after the 2nd highest peak in Taiwan, next to the Himalayas. Here we go. Let's go meet our babies. Oh, there they are. This is obviously the 2 whale sharks in here. As of now, if they're okay, I have no idea. We don't know because we haven't talked to anybody yet, but we'll soon find out.
The next step is getting the tanks out of the plane, and it takes a combination of muscle and machines.
I don't know about you, brother, but I can't remember the last time I was sweating at 3:30 in the morning. So this is the first whale shark. It's almost loaded up and be ready to transport into the flatbed truck. To bring it in right now, I'm going to hop back and help him with shark number 2.
I don't know who invented floor rollers, but I'd like to shake their hand right now.
We're going to go outside now, and we're going to put them on the flatbed trucks. Let's go. As you can see, they're hooking this strap to the back of this truck. He's going to push it forward, thus thrusting all the power and all the way forward. It's very important I don't get my finger stuck underneath there. Look at that. Come on. Pull. Hold up. And what's happening right now is they're having a problem loading the huge box onto the big cargo truck. This thing is actually way too heavy for this thing, and we're using trucks, belts, everything, but it's still not working.
The crew scrambles to find a solution to this huge problem. The tugging and sloshing of the water inside the tank has to rattle the fish. With luck on our side, the tank finally moves.
So the first fish is onto the flatbed truck and being transported to the docking station. And obviously we're up to get the second one right now. Hopefully it's not as bad pushing it onto the flatbed truck as it was last time.
All the delays are adding up, and that's not good for the sharks. The process needs to move faster, and finally, it does.
All right, so whale shark number 2, a.k.a. Taroko, is now on the flatbed truck. And I like to think that I helped out, man. I locked this thing down, I helped him push it on, and we're ready to go. So the next stop is the Georgia Aquarium. I can't wait to put these things in the water. Let's go.
So right now, it's what, 6 in the morning?
Yep, 5:45.
It's 5:45
My
here.
earlier prediction about when they were going to go on display I was way off.
So what do you think now? It's 5:45. What time do you think they'll be in?
I guess in 9 to 10 range.
The extra time it took to get the tanks onto the truck is putting us right in the middle of rush hour traffic in Atlanta for our drive to the aquarium. The very thing the team was hoping to avoid. Coming up, will the traffic delays jeopardize the sharks' health? The aquarium's ER team rushes into action. Then, the sharks face the scariest part of their journey. 10 tons of fish and water lifted 40 feet straight up with no safety net, while I suit up to go swimming with the sharks. And later,
You work at a high pace, don't you?
yeah, got to. At a Vegas Laundry, the adversary is tons of towels, and there's no room for mercy.
You're like a ninja, dude. Let me try that one.
And only the strong survive.
Hello, let's start over.
Look at these cops go to work, man. We got this whole freeway to ourselves. This is so great. So we're actually moving a lot faster than I thought we would be. With the police escorts, we are doing about 50 to 60 miles per hour. Things are moving along nice. With the police escort, we fly through rush hour traffic. And in no time, we're backing the trucks into the aquarium's loading dock. Then things really kick into high gear.
Snap, one there's a lower hole there. I didn't realize there was
You want these? So this is your second fish. Do we already have the lid off the first one?
Lid's off the first one, as I thought, get you to help these guys get this lid off. Joe!
So now we got to back the truck up, take the lid off, and then they'll start the acclimation process, getting the well acclimated to the water it's about to go into, opposed to the water that's in there right now. Needless to say, it smells really bad in there.
Immediately, the aquarium team moves hoses and pumps into the boxes.
What she's doing right now is putting what's called a fill line up. This allows them to drain the water in here while at the same time filling it up with the new water it's about to go in. Basically getting the animal acclimated. You know what the name of this one is?
This one is Taroko.
Taroko. So this fish is getting an acclimation process. What's going on with the fish that originally got here first?
Well, that box has been there and they've been acclimating for a while. Now the team is getting changed. They're going to get in the water and attempt a blood sample. So you might want to get over there and check it out.
Absolutely. All right.
The animal that we have in position to be moved is animal number 1. So I suggest we plan on drawing blood on that animal. The team would be the acclimation team, plus Tanya, myself, and Paul if he's up for it.
The medical team brings a virtual portable lab to the staging area. They concentrate on soothing the fish before the needles start going in. Smart move.
Get ready to stick. Sticking.
I watch with anticipation as they draw blood from the whale shark.
Freaking hate needles, man.
The fish's blood then goes to Dr. Mike, who does his analysis. He checks on the shark's white cell count, red cell count, and iron levels. Anything that will give a clue to the basic health of the fish. Then it's time for a series of shots.
What we're giving now is vitamin E and selenium. That helps with when there's muscle problems after a lot of stress.
Next, all the vital measurements have to be taken.
3 caudal 297, 4 347, total 413, girth 162, dorsal 35.
Are we getting 2 measures on that?
Long dorsal 49.
Long dorsal 49. So basically at the end of the day, the fish looks pretty good. This fish has basically been in there for roughly 36 hours. Now the next step is to transport it from this box into the huge aquarium. It's already been acclimated, so we're ready to go.
Now it's time for the trickiest part of the entire process. Hoisting the sharks into the Ocean Voyager tank.
Okay, let's go ahead and bring that stretcher in.
What they're doing right now is putting this big blue tarp, it's actually called a stretcher, underneath the whale shark, and then we're going to strap these harnesses in, lift it 30 feet into the air, and put it in the water. There you go, they're raising it up, man.
Gonna go fast, okay? We're just gonna go all the way up, all the way up.
19,000 pounds of whale shark right there. Get lifted 30 feet into the air. That is a really big thing. Quick upstairs, let's go.
At this critical point, if the stretcher springs a leak or if any of the cables snap, it could be all over for the shark. The final leg of the move is to the Ocean Voyager tank.
This is great.
So far, so good. But no one knows how the shark will react to its new home, or if it will even have the strength to swim after so much time in a box.
Snorkel team, release all the clasps! Alright, so they're unhooking the harnesses of the stretcher right now. The reason they have 15 marine biologist divers in there is because they want the fish to get used to parameters. They don't want to run it into walls because it's never been in a tank before. It's already been acclimated to the water. Now they're going to acclimate it to the tank.
Alright, go down!
This is it, the moment of truth. Will the fish be able to swim or not?
Divers are sinking the bag to the bottom, holding the sides up just to kind of keep the animal contained with the goal of trying to get the animal to the bottom. And then all the snorkelers and divers will just kind of coach the animal out of the stretcher and try to get it swimming up off the surface safely so that it can get orientated. And then we're just going to watch carefully just to make sure that the animal's starting to understand where it is, where the boundaries are, and so on.
To everyone's relief, the shark slowly swims off on its own.
This is an unbelievable being in the water with them. What do they typically look for once the animal's in the water? A certain swim pattern, or?
Yeah, just no settling on the bottom, swimming calm and relaxed.
Making sure he likes his new home.
Yeah, it's making sure he's comfortable and can orientate and appears that everything's normal.
Look at, here comes one of the other whale sharks. Come over. Look at his new family member.
It's a really incredible thing to watch these gentle behemoth fish swimming together as they get accustomed to each other and the changes in their world.
It's good, man. Everything's good. Congratulations. One down, huh?
Yeah,
One down, one to go.
Yep.
It's time for me to suit up for a little swim with shark number 2. As the giant shark gets loaded onto the stretcher, I'm headed for the water.
Okay, this is Mark. Mark's basically my lifeguard in the water, make sure I don't kill myself. I know I've said this a million times, and I'll say it again. I love my job.
Even though shark number 1 did well in the tank, there was no guarantee that that would be true for shark number 2. Shark number 2 quickly swam away from the stretcher, apparently in good health. Unbelievably, the shark took a U-turn and headed straight for me. The shark passed under me, then took another U-turn and headed right at me again. Absolutely incredible. Being in the water with these monster sharks swimming right next to me is one of the most exciting things I've ever experienced in my life. It was amazing to see the sharks kind of headbutting each other. Now, no one knows for sure if that's part of getting to know each other or just the whale shark's classic bad eyesight. As I watched these amazing fish, I couldn't help thinking about the dozens of people who work so tirelessly and sacrificially to fly them halfway around the world, rescuing them from possible death. Whale sharks are the largest fish in the sea and the least understood. Studying them here at the Georgia Aquarium, marine biologists will discover a wealth of information about behavior and breeding that may even help save them from extinction.
All right, today was a really big day for me, for the crew here, and obviously for the 2 whale sharks that flew 8,000 miles across the world to get here, the world's largest aquarium. It's an experience of a lifetime for me. Believe me, if you haven't been here, you're missing out. You have to come here. Odds are I'll still be here, because I ain't leaving.
Mission Industries in Las Vegas, linens are cleaned with surgical precision. Dr. Matt will sort you now.
Las Vegas. The lights, the glamour, the dirty laundry. Lots and lots of dirty laundry. Hey, someone's got to wash it, right? So everyone can have fun getting it dirty again. Today I'm at Mission Industries, the largest laundry service in the world.
With 2,500 employees and 500,000 square feet of facilities, what began in 1930 as a small-town family enterprise now services the daily needs of the largest resort destination in the world. 81,000 towels pass through Mission every day, and a staggering 8.5 million pounds of laundry is processed here every week. Plant manager Rick Winter shows me how it's done.
Is this the first step of the process? This is called the soil room, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, as the soil comes in from the casinos, they pick it up, brought it up here first, is sorted out to the different items to start the wash process. Yeah, the only people to touch it before us would be the maids.
So each towel, sheets, goes to their own different station, right?
Absolutely.
So what's the biggest station? I want to see the biggest
station would be our tunnel washer.
When you've got a mountain of dirty laundry to fluff and fold every day, you get the world's largest washing machine.
This thing is huge.
A tunnel washer, also called a continuous batch washer, is a $1.5 million computerized wash and dry system that can hold 3,600 pounds of laundry at one time, producing 200 pounds of clean sheets or towels every 70 seconds.
You said there's 18 stations, right?
Right. Individual, what we call pockets, individual compartments.
As the name implies, the machine consists of a long metal tube called a tunnel. A huge metal spiral called an Archimedes screw runs down the center of the tunnel, dividing it into sections called pockets. As the screw rotates, linen is forced from one end of the tunnel to the other. Since the screw is made of porous metal, laundry can move through the washer in one direction, while water and clean fluids are forced through the other. The linen moves through pockets of progressively cleaner water and fresher cleaning solutions. Soiled linen continuously goes into one end of the tunnel, while clean linen moves continuously out of the other. Clean water at the end of the cycle is then recycled back to the front of the machine.
It comes out here into a hydraulic press. And we press as much water as possible out here with hydraulic pressure.
3,800 pounds of pressure per square inch squeezes down the wet laundry.
And this creates what we call a cake of towels, 200 pounds of clean towels.
Computerized elevators slide two 200-pound cakes into one dryer, which dries the 400 pounds of towels in about 20 minutes. Clean, dry towels are then routed through a vacuum-controlled delivery system to different folding stations. Look at that! Towels are sorted, automatically folded, and tied together with string color-coded for different hotels.
You work at a high pace, don't you?
Yeah, got to.
So, Steven's job is obviously to tie these towels up and throw them in these bins. You're like a ninja, dude. You got like crazy fast hands. I watched you. Is this one gonna come out soon? All right, let me try that one. Pinky.
Oh, no, that's not over.
Do the pinky.
Grab through here.
Grab through here. Turn.
You grab this right here. And you pull. It's hard to punch off.
I suppose I won't be coming around here looking for a job anytime soon, so I'll just help Steve out. The clean and folded laundry is then ready to be returned to their respective hotels, to be enjoyed again by the guests of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Look. More laundry.
Clean but wet bed sheets are dried, ironed, and folded in a machine called a flat work ironer.
All right, we've taken this sheet, and we've obviously marked it obnoxiously with this huge red X. So we're going to time it together, and we're going to show you exactly how long it takes from start to finish. Grab your stopwatches, ladies and gentlemen, starting now. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000. 5 1,000.
Wet bed sheets are pulled under rollers over what is called a hot chest, which uses 350 degrees of steam to both dry and flat press the sheet.
19, 20, 21, 22, 22 seconds from that wrinkled slop to this beautifully folded, nice, fantastic, warm and cozy sheet. That's it. We have to be done. This has to be the end of the line. There can't be anything else I have to do. We are through. Rich, I thought that this whole thing ended with the sheets, but you've obviously brought me here for a reason. Why?
When we really get something really dirty, like out of the food and beverage, our bar moth net, they have a lot of oil net in it. We come over here to the conventional washroom and put them through these conventional open pocket washers.
What's the difference between this and what we already saw?
We go with a real heavy item to get a lot of agitation, and we can inject our chemistry the way we want to get that product clean.
So, I mean, this is obviously a really big washing machine. I want to find out how these are made. Let's go see how they actually make these things.
Coming up, I go to Texas.
I feel like something magical is going to happen.
Where I cut, I sand, and I show you how tough it is to make some of the biggest washing machines in the world.
That was easy.
Welcome to WashX, located right here in Wichita Falls, Texas. Now, these are the people that make sure that what happens in Vegas, well, doesn't stay on the towels in Vegas. Right here is where they build some of the biggest washers and dryers in the world to handle some of the biggest loads of laundry on the planet. Are you guys Jimmy and James?
Yep.
You must be James?
Yep.
You must be Jimmy. You know how I know that?
I do.
They told me to look for the guy with the smooth-looking cookie duster.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I mean, what are you doing? You're building the world's largest washing machine.
First thing we're going to do, we get the raw material, we'll take it in, we'll put it on the burn center, we'll cut it up, and we'll start welding it.
So we loaded up a 1-inch thick, 5,600-pound sheet of steel and rolled her in. Whoa! I got a delivery for you.
All right, man.
My name's Matt. What's your name?
I'm Joe.
Joe?
Yeah.
All right, what are we doing?
All right, we're going to go east with this here crane.
All right. Is this a magnet?
That's a magnet. That'll hold up just about anything with Empire State Building.
Really?
Yeah.
This electric circular lifting magnet will lift up to 5,000 pounds. What's your nickname around here? Crazy Joe?
Yeah, basically.
Really?
A little everything. All right, push that up button.
All right.
That'll work for me. That's where it's got to go. Now, go west with it. Hit down. All right. Now, keep on the left a little bit.
Who's this guy helping us out?
That's Danny. Go down there a little bit. Go
Down?
down, buddy. All right, now. There you go.
Do you already have your instructions on what piece to cut on the metal or on the steel?
Danny got it.
How you doing? So you, what, are the master crafter? You're going to cut this thing in half, right?
Cut 4 different heads out of there.
Well, what part of the huge washing machine is the head?
There's the outside part of the frame.
So if it's my washing machine at home, is it the door that opens and closes it?
No, that's what your door mounts with.
That's pretty freaking big then, right?
That's a little big for home.
I was going to say, how long does this whole process take?
About 7 minutes.
Danny is cutting this 2-inch steel plate with a computer-controlled plasma torch. Plasma cutting is a process using compressed air combined with electricity, which forms plasma gas. This plasma gas is sufficiently hot to pierce and cut steel up to 12 inches thick. The result is very much like cutting butter with a hot jet of air. Water beneath the steel plate is used to reduce noise, smoke, and the brightness of the torch. We then use the circular magnet to transport the cut steel header.
Let that switch right there at the top. That's just right there.
Turns it on?
Yeah, turn it on that way.
I feel like something magical is going to happen.
Yeah,
Ready?
yeah, it's possible.
3, 2, here we go. Look at that.
All right, now,
Do you think if I pulled my hardest, I could rip it off?
it'd be a hard rip.
Hold
Go
this.
for it. Maybe tomorrow.
Not happening. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
The new part is then sanded to remove steel burrs, making it suitable for welding. WashX has been a leading manufacturer of industrial washers and dryers since 1923. 150 employees work in a 140,000 square foot facility, building 22 different models of machines ranging in cost from $20,000 up to $150,000. Using the most sophisticated computer-controlled steel busting machines in the world, like this Hensaw that can cut through a 21-inch I-beam in 90 seconds, WashX can build you a 10-ton washer extractor in less than 6 weeks. Here at WashX, even a 3,000-pound sheet of 2-inch steel doesn't stand a chance. This stuff looks tough, and it is. But the people here show it who's boss on a daily basis. Each machine is handcrafted, cut, bent and welded, until they've created yet another monster to help keep up with the unlimited laundry demands of places like the Las Vegas Strip. This thing can actually hold up to 600 pounds of laundry. With me in here, we're just about halfway there. It takes a lot of monster washing machines to clean 8.5 million pounds of laundry every week, and that's a really big thing. This smells like a wet dog, rotten paint.
I used them.
Sharing a small hotel room with my brother after he's eaten a Mexican fiesta. It's terrible.
And he's right. I know his brother.
Can this thing handle a really big load?
Let's go.
My pants are too tight and I can't climb up there. Can this thing handle a big load?
Let's go.